So, did you ever hear about the story of the three musketeers? Or rather, should I say the story of the three birds? The three birds who were good friends and they flocked together. And because they flocked together, what did they do? They do things similarly. So, in today's video, we'll be looking in depth about the incessant spendings that we've been having from some of the Nigerian governors across Nigerian states. And this is something we've been talking about for 2 videos back now, and it is very, very important we see how they are all interlinked and the impact they pose on ordinary Nigerians who are desperately waiting for a change that could affect their lives positively. So if you want to know more about the three musketeers or the three birds that worked together in harmony, then please stay with me. Don't go anywhere. So in our last video, we spoke about Governor Obaseki of Edo State and how he spent over 900 million naira on bank fees or bank charges or bank whatever that I don't know, but this spending did not pose significant growth or change in the lives of the ordinary Nigerians living in this respective state. Some other videos we spoke about Governor Yahaya Bello spending over 900 million naira without appropriation from the legislative wing of Kogi State. And if you check or follow one of my shots where we made jest of the Lagos State Governor, Gov Sanwo-Olu, spending money on fragrance, 7 million naira on fragrance. Now I know you might say 7 million. 7 million is not that much compared to the 900 million we've had on bank charges and on, I don't know, you tell me. But the other line items from these spendings are what caught my attention. If you check the Lagos State government, the Lagos State government so far successively have been doing well from, past governments. When Governor Sanwo-Olu came into power, there were speculations of, some development he did in Lagos. And maybe, let me list, they said he did, I don't know. There were speculations that there were developments, developments, of course. But however, the current recurrent spending in Lagos State is what has drawn the attentions of ordinary citizens, and it has also drawn my attention. And if you're spending 7 million naira on fragrance and then you are also spending money to renovate the Obas Palace and other spendings that were listed in the Lagos State government budget, this is where attentions were drew. So today we are going to be looking at the similarities and the factorials that binds all three governors together. If you look at Governor Sanwo-Olu and Governor Obaseki, they've had their fair shares of their tenure, especially Governor Sanwo-Olu, who is coming back for the second tenure. And of course, if you check out Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State and you look at Governor Obaseki, they have 2 things in common. And what they have in common is they are both outgoing governors, expecting, incoming government into their political affairs. Now, because we've had this, now it is being speculated by the coalition of masses that these people at the end of their tenure, they tend not to bring any significant development in their states. And because they are not going to bring any significant development in their state, it now poses a lot of questions back there on the opinion of the masses. So the question I asked some of my viewers in my last video, I said, what are the physical structures that are on ground that you can justify that this government spendings at your respective state is highly relevant? You have to come up, like, do you have hospitals that have been refurbished or built newly? Do you have schools that have been renovated and all the structures are being raised newly? Do you have roads or projects that have, interlinked and reduce significantly the poverty level of your people at your state? Your welfare at your state level, is it being catered for? And if yes, how is it affecting your life as the masses or as a citizen living in that particular state? So when you look at Kogi State, we had a lot of controversies and speculations and even facts coming out from Kogi citizens stating that Governor Yahaya Bello has not paid civil servants for some years. In Edo State, we have people crying out loud on the poverty rate and the socio-economic life of people living in that particular state. And then in Lagos State, I feel Governor Sanwo-Olu is just living the lives and the credits of past governments. And that is why you cannot factually say that these spendings are justified, because they are just spending the money based on what they feel they want to achieve at the realm of their personal gain. They have no interest for the masses. They have no interest for the people. Now, if you say you are spending money for air freshener, have you considered locating youths with skills in Lagos State who you could empower? I recall when Governor Sanwo-Olu was seeking for a second tenure, or the bid for a second tenure as the Lagos State Governor. He went shop to shop, businesses to businesses, even schools to schools, rallying for, votes. But now I don't see him doing that. Now, these same people, how many of their businesses have you amplified? How many of their businesses have you, added some resources that will bolster the current growth of their business or the current sizes of their business? I don't see them going back. And this is the problem we are having with Nigerian politicians. In one of my last videos, I stated that the international governments and the international community should not listen to Nigerian politicians. All this aid that they are providing to Nigerian politicians, at the end of the day, it doesn't reach the last person on the chain of benefits. The last person being the ordinary Nigerian or the masses who are yet to be considered for some of these things. They are not, how many of these people, how many of the students, the youths, have you sponsored abroad? When you get sick, you go abroad to treat yourself. If you check deeply, most of their children don't school in Nigeria, they all school abroad. You see, these are the things. And then we have our public schools here suffering so badly that even the teachers are not being paid, and the children are not getting quality education. These are the things that we are facing. And I begin to ask myself, with this system, what type of growth are we anticipating in Nigeria? So these three musketeers are working hand in hand, doing whatever they feel like at their state level. And at the end of the day, when they leave this office and they are being taken, and legal actions are being taken against them, then you get the judiciary system covering them up. And at the end of the day, when palms have been greased, you discover that they go away with this corruption and nothing will be done about it for good, and it will be closed. So, another thing they have in common, if you look at Governor Yahaya Bello and Sanwo-Olu, they are both from the same party. APC, of course. When we have the president as APC presidential, individual, as an APC person, then what do you expect? They all work together, and at the end of the day, you discover that there is no real development that comes to Nigeria. So the questions we've been asking for the past 2-3 videos now, what will 8,000 naira do to the poorest of the poor? Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, this question goes to you and every other members of the Federal Executive Council, and most likely the ministers in charge of this program. Please ask yourself, with the incessant rise in economic prices, where you don't even get to buy any significant thing from the market, 5,000 naira cannot afford you a one-day meal. What do you expect 8,000 naira to do for the ordinary Nigerian that you refer to as the poorest of the poor? You are responsible for the welfare of these people. You are responsible for everything that they face, because at the end of the day, you get to enjoy all benefit as a president, as a senator, as a house member, as a governor. You get to enjoy all these benefits, and at the end of the day, you throw peanuts to Nigerian citizens and you call it aid. What school programs have you set in place? I remember the last government developed or came up with a program named School Feeding Program. Yeah, in some states that program worked, but not as effective as we anticipated. But at the end of the day, clearly that program has ended because it went away with the government per se. So It went away with the past government. So now, if you want to bring all those programs, what are the durable solutions you are putting in place right now? So have you considered serious empowerment through women, through youths? Have you considered, okay, yeah, this government spoke about student loan, but I wonder who will be policing that particular program? Because at the end of the day, when that program come in place or come into place, we will still have defaulters as students, and at the end of the day, we will still have the government not even maybe meeting up to their promises. And lastly, which is even the most important factor, we'll now have middlemen in between this program, cutting down the funding size, and of course, getting away with corruption. And at the end of the day, these loans might not even reach the students per se. So these are the problems. So ex-President Muhammadu Buhari tried to fight corruption, but at the end of the day, corruption was, way much more dominant, more than any other government that has ever ruled Nigeria. So what is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu doing to curb or mitigate the excessive part that corruption will play in some of these programs that they are bringing? But my recommendation is this: please scrap that poorest of the poor program and make something better. Come up with a better initiative that, will enhance the life of the poorest of the poor. You want to give them peanut for 6 months, or is it 8 months, and then at the end of the day, you take back that peanut. And what do you want to make up of their lives? So please and please, these are just my reflections for today. And I believe that Nigeria, we can do better. We can actually do better. But we can do better when we have leaders that understand the daily living of the ordinary Nigerian. When we have leaders that are from the grassroots and have tasted what it means to be poor, and have also tasted what it means to strive in this current economy, not some economists ago, or not 10, 20, 30 years ago. So we want somebody who has tasted the pain of the ordinary Nigerian and know what it means to live in this present time. And then when we have them at that level of decision making, they will begin to profile solutions that will be very effective for all the masses in Nigeria. And of course, this can be adaptable and extendable to other African nations. African leaders, please, we need to wake up. We are not born in our skin deeply to depend on aid from developed countries. We have the resources, we have the means. All we need to do is to take away that negative attitude and do the right thing for our people. So the big question remains, are you doing the right thing? So until next time, I don't know if I've provided value in this video, but if I have, please do me well to click on that subscribe button and then turn on the notification bell so that you will get notifications anytime I drop this type of series. And you can also support me by clicking on the thumbs up button so that YouTube can recommend these videos to a lot of people, and then we'll get people, doing active civic engagement. So until next time, I remain Joseph Kabulu. See you next time. Goodbye.